Hey, thanks for coming up, DK.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no worries. I've got a script we could do.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds good.
we need like a woman to play. So I don't think I could do the woman. Hey,
No,
how's it going?
I don't think his voice goes that way either.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
I know.
You know,
Hey,
like
this is Dog Man here for you. Dog Boy
right,
Man.
right. So that's not gonna work. But hopefully, like we'll say that for later. We'll see if someone else wants to come up. If we got a brave woman on the line wants to come up and play the script with us, we could do it. It's not a funny script though. It's about Jesus. So if someone wants to come up, then it's
That's
all
cool.
good. Yeah.
Hey, so Peanut, I have to tell you, the other night, um, I should have. The first person I thought of when I got out of work, my hours are ridiculous. But I got out of work and I was told that a former president got his ear pierced. I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And
Right.
honestly, the after I that came out of me, I was like, I'm surprised it hasn't happened beforehand because times have changed. People are
Yeah.
not the same anymore. Anyways,
Yeah. There's different views on that. Um, I for one, and no offense to anyone who thinks the opposite. You guys know you could disagree with me on anything. But
I know we talked about it, but
yeah. I think it's a setup. I don't think it's real, but there are people who do. So teach his own. But
you know
so,
what? Go ahead. No. I'm sorry to
no,
interrupt.
you're good. Go for it.
My whole thing is, I don't know if it was a setup or if it was real. It's tough to tell. I hope this isn't just BS. It's tough to tell because he's an amazing hit. I want to say actor, I guess. I don't know. I'm not against him. I'm not opposed to him at all. I actually like his attitude more this time around, but that doesn't, I mean, it just, who knows? I mean, it could be just a front. No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Mine looking at it is like, I get why people buy into it because one, they've been trained their whole lives to not question stuff like that. And two, Trump says some real stuff that people want to hear. They're not used to hearing that from a politician. They've been basically played for,
Yep,
I don't know, like 60
exactly.
years. Yeah, exactly. So
You're right
they're
on
like,
it.
yeah, and they're like, I my fingers on the pulse. They're like, yeah, I get it. Finally, there's some guy speaking our language. He's telling us what everyone else should have been saying all this time. I get it, but just because it looks real doesn't mean it is real.
It's true.
Yeah,
My whole thing, I'm glad they're actually just covering it, period. And
yeah,
the coverage, I forget what's the network I watched. We're on the opposite sides of the country, but
uh-huh.
my whole point is that it was actually covered because it was beyond bias for the longest time, which I understand why they're doing it, but it's wrong. So, I don't know how do I you know exactly how I feel about the whole situation. It's all crap because
Yeah,
it's they all have their own agenda. My whole thing is I'm glad the media is actually covering it instead of just ignoring everything. You have to show both sides, and there was a time that they weren't. Whether it was all BS or not, that's why it wasn't being covered. It's still, I mean, I live in New England, and every friggin' year, all I hear is on the news, there's another shark attack. There's sharks down in Cape Cod. It's no shit. It's there every year.
uh,
Out of back to what you were saying earlier, out of repetitious, you want to believe it. You think it's it's something new. It's what should be heard and what should be said. And I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm losing my own train of thought now.
Yeah, it's all good. I actually, now that you mention it, I think I'm going to play this video because we start talking about it. So I got a video. Let's play this first. It's gonna because it's gonna be about the Trump stuff. So I made a lot of joke videos. I was talking to Al about it. Like in one of the videos, it has
I just saw his name. I love that.
yeah, Al Bundy, right? And it made me think. So I had Al Bundy, he's a shoe guy. So I made him as like Trump was a shoe salesman at one time. To go with the shoe thing, and then but this. So I made a whole like series of joke videos about his shoe. Like one is like Cinderella. And he's like, I lost my shoe, and then but uh, but this video is going to be a bit more. It's not a joke. It's actually serious. And so I don't know if this is accurate or not. So hope you guys could just all watch it. You too, DK, and take a
Definitely.
look. All
Definitely.
right. Hey, what's up, Kip? How's it going, man? Man, Kip's made some amazing videos. Like,
Hey, Kip.
yeah, a totally respect for you, Kip. But anyway, this is just like a serious video. It's about Trump's shoe, but it's taken from a more like a esoteric, symbolic
Mhm.
analysis. So I did some research. So I'm gonna about Masonic symbolism and one
Oh,
shoe. And
geez.
so let's take a look and then just keep an open mind. Sound good, DK?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
The
here we go.
symbolism is everywhere.
The following information I found from searching the internet. This is about Masonic symbols, in this case, the shoe. Again, I don't advocate for Freemasonry. I think it's evil. I'm simply trying to use their information to extrapolate and explain what the symbolism may be esoterically connected to Trump's shoe that he lost on stage. There might be symbolism in that, and that's what I'm exploring. So, the shoe, as a Masonic symbol, is employed to remind us of the duty of constancy and fidelity in our engagements. Remember that word fidelity? Because I'm going to bring that up again in reference to a couple of movies later. That whatever contract we make, we must honestly fulfill. Whatever work we undertake, we must perform to the utmost of our power, not undertaking any work which we do not believe ourselves to be well capable of performing, nor promising its completion within a time which we cannot reasonably regard as sufficient for it. It is thus a symbol having reference to conduct in the common affairs of life, but the duties of which it reminds us are, nevertheless, duties, the obligation of which must be referred to the highest principles, to those of justice and truth. The use of this symbol is derived from an ancient custom of the Jews, of which we read in the book of Ruth, in the account of the transaction between Boaz and his kinsman, who was nearer in relationship to Ruth than himself, concerning the redemption of the land that had been Elimelech's, and concerning the marriage, in accordance with the Jewish law, of Ruth the Moabites, the widowed daughter-in-law of Elimelech. The transaction took place in the gate of their city, in presence of 10 men of the elders of the city. And when the kinsman refused to redeem the land and to marry the youthful widow, saying, I cannot redeem it, lest I mar mine own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. He drew off his shoe and gave it to Boaz, and this formality is thus spoken of by the narrator. Now, this was the manner in the former time of Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing, for to conform all. A man took off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and this was testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, Buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. That's from Ruth IV 6-8. This was done in accordance with a law which we read in the book of Deuteronomy, and in which probably an ancient custom was sanctioned. See Deuteronomy XXV 5-10. It was a custom somewhat similar to that long enforced by the law of Scotland in the completion of sales of land or of mortgages on land, of the handling of earth and stone from the one party to the other. The transference of the handful of earth and stone being in token of the transference of the right of property, And again, remember that transference of rights of property, as I'm going to go into that again shortly hereafter. So the kinsman who relinquished his right may be understood as saying to Boaz, I give over to thee all my right in this matter, as fully as I now give thee this shoe. I divest myself of it as completely as I do of this shoe. And the elders of the city, having witnessed this transaction, the bargain was completed and could not be wrestled from. The shoe as a symbol reminds the Freemason that his contracts are never to be resiled from, but faithfully implemented, even if he should find them less profitable than he expected. This principle of rule, however, is only applicable to contracts fairly made. If a man has been entrapped into a contract by false representations on the part of another, he may honestly and honorably renounce it as soon as he discovers the imposition which has been practiced upon him. If, however, after discovering this, he still proceeds for a time as if he had made no such discovery, he must be regarded as having condoned the offense, and is then bound by the contract. It is as if, in full knowledge of the facts, he entered into it anew. So the symbolism of giving up one's shoe is akin to renouncing your claim on land, property, or real estate of some kind. It also seems to be connected somewhat in the stories to infidelity or marriage of some kind. So keep that in mind while we're going to review a couple of movies. So my research led me to look for movies that were about one shoe or had one shoe in the title, etc. And I found a couple movies that fit that category. The first movie I found was from the 1980s. It's like a TV movie called One Shoe Makes It Murder. In this movie, a retired cop is hired by a wealthy man to find his wife. It turns out that the wife was cheating on him, so there is that theme of infidelity that we talked about. And the second film also included infidelity in its plot, but we'll cover that in a minute. Also, both films included illusion in that things were not as they seemed. And both films also included attempted murder and loaded weapons. So, we talked about how there's infidelity in One Shoe Makes It Murder. Well, illusion was at hand in the movie too. When the unfaithful wife seemed to have unalived herself as she fell to the ground from a high-rise apartment building, it seemed like that's what happened, like she unalived herself, but there was something of an illusion as to what really happened. Also, the unfaithful wife in this movie hid who she truly was from her husband. She portrayed herself as somebody other than what she was. And a faithful friend of the husband found out, but helped to allow the illusion to continue out of fear that it would hurt his friend, who he knew and who he had worked for. At the end of the movie, a character was aiming at the husband, but inadvertently ended up killing the friend instead. So it's similar in that sense to what happened, in my opinion, with the whole Trump thing. Because, in my opinion, the whole thing was an illusion. And then, as the story goes, innocent bystanders ended up getting hurt, at least as to what our knowledge is at this point. Okay, so now that we talked about that, now we're going to go on to movie number 2. The second movie is titled The Man with One Red Shoe. And there you go with another movie with one shoe in the title. In this movie, the infidelity starts almost right away, near the beginning. Not at the beginning, but near the beginning, as the character played by Tom Hanks makes love with his friend's girlfriend. So there is your infidelity right off the top. The illusion comes straight from the beginning, too, as his character is mistaken for a spy on purpose to throw off the CIA. So one could say that Trump's rally in Butler was not what it seemed to be either. There were also people aiming at Tom Hanks' character, but it was other characters in the film who did not fare as well as he did by not being hit. Where, in fact, one of the characters in the movie ended up dying. They were more like a standing character, but still, nonetheless. Just like at the Butler rally. The only thing missing from the movies was the redemption of a land deal. Although in One Shot Makes Murder, the failed marriage, like the failed marriage in The Man with One Red Shoe, is symbolically like renouncing a land deal, and that the groom would be symbolically married to the land. Which brings me to the infidelity of Trump. And I am not talking about something like Stormy Daniels. What I mean is the infidelity to being honest to the United States. A president is a bit like the groom, and the country is a bit like the bride. So if there is any intended symbolism in Trump's missing shoe, like as in Masonic symbolism, as we talked about at the beginning of this, perhaps the meaning is that he is renouncing his claim to the land or renouncing his claim to the United States, not in the election, but afterwards in general. Or in layman's terms, he is going to sell us out in the future, meaning the United States will be renounced. Think about it. Now, I'm not claiming that this definitely is connected. What I'm saying is there's enough there to give food for thought. Just something to think about. Okay, so one last example I have that might make a bit more sense or make it easier to digest. In the movie Cinderella, the Disney version, Cinderella leaves her shoe behind or leaves her glass slipper behind. So, in the culture where that story originally comes from, in the original versions, losing that shoe meant something completely different. There was a symbolism attached to it. So, it's similar to infidelity in the sense that when Cinderella loses her shoe, what she's really losing is her virginity, according to the original story, if you were understanding the meaning of that culture and understanding the symbolism. So losing one's virginity in that sense before marriage is sort of like infidelity or something. But don't get caught too much up in infidelity in a physical way. It's the symbolism. So the symbolism of losing the shoe means you've lost fidelity to the land. So you're giving up the land itself because you're the groom. The land is the bride, so to speak. So there you go.
All right. I right off the bat. I'm sorry. I never even thought of Cinderella that way. Way over my head.
Me too. I didn't. It's like there's all these messages and tons of stuff in all of our culture that I'm waking up to now. I didn't know this till I started researching. I was like, whoa! I totally didn't
No,
catch that. You know.
no. When you said that, I was like, oh shit! I didn't even think of that. The thing, honestly, it's to me, it's a bit of a stretch that this was faked. I want to say it. I'm not saying it couldn't be done. I mean,
Yeah.
for Christ's sakes.
Well, that's
I have
perfectly
no idea.
fine. Yeah, that's fine. Just speak your mind. That's
But
all right. You don't have to agree with me.
I would sincerely hope that it was not, because there was lives lost here. You know, but
At least it would appear to be. Anyway.
well, didn't I don't know for a fact, but I was from what I heard or was told that there was an elderly man that got hit with one of the bullets.
You know, the funny thing, a lot of people bring that up to me and like,
I don't tell me what you heard, because that's all I heard. Honest, I'm not putting an argument up. That's all I know.
No, it's okay either way, honestly, DK. But like,
No,
yeah, my thoughts are that it's like, well, one, there's a lot of times there's like cry sister actors, right? That like,
Yep.
so it could be one of those, or or maybe they made a whole backstory. I don't know, but let's say it was just legit. Let's just go there. It's not like they haven't waxed someone before in a ritual. I mean, look at 9/11. Look at all the people that died
No,
in those buildings. You know what I mean?
but I hear you there also, and honestly, without what I'm about to say, I would say that's a stretch too. But what I also heard was this 20-year-old that stole his old man's AR style rifle, walked across the field with, maybe I'm wrong. This is what I was told, with a ladder, and people were pointing it out and no one was doing nothing. And they were pointing and he was on a roof. How is nothing happening if this and you can see certain shots, people, I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know if they're looking at what I just said. If nothing's done, is this all bullshit? I'm with you on that. I don't. It
Well,
seems it seems to me it honestly it's a stretch.
yeah.
But knowing these people and our government and all the everything, I don't know, man.
Well, let's look at it for a
I'm
minute.
not I'm
So,
not discounting it because
yeah.
I'm right with you. It very well could have been. I don't know.
Well, there's like if hey, what's up, Watt? How you doing? So like if you think about it, um, um, give me a second. And again, you don't have to agree with me. After talking to me all day long, it's I can see how you could or agree or disagree. It doesn't really matter as long as you're just being honest with what you truly believe. That's all that really matters, DK. But
Yeah, dude,
you
you
know,
know how I am.
yeah,
This is all crap. As long as I only want to vote for someone that's out for us. That's it.
okay. So for one thing, okay, so the guy shot at him, and
How did he
and it
miss?
how did he nicked his ear, like,
Yeah, but
right?
and I'm not trying to sound negative, like he should have
Yeah,
killed him or don't kill him or anything like that.
right.
Being a,
Hey,
that it was 100 yards or it was 100 yards
I don't remember the
or
exact amount,
100 feet.
honestly.
It wasn't that long of a distance that with the firearm that he had, there was no, and yes, he hit him, but I don't know.
And then look at Jason saying there's a lot to it. Like for one thing, there is let's just talk about Jason. Give me a second. I'm gonna go what you say because Jason makes a great point. Well, so we went there. We were talking about real quick. Jason's talking about BlackRock,
What?
and BlackRock had a insider trading deal that happened before the day before the supposed shooting took place,
See,
and, and the shooter was supposedly connected to BlackRock, which is kind of like, huh.
see,
Also this, check it out. This is not
I'm
me making
learning now.
all right, this is
Yeah,
not me making stuff up. But over uh,
you don't know.
at the event, what happened was there were people who were pointing out, hey, look, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. Look. They're
That's what.
pointing, you know what I'm saying? And now I've
Yeah.
heard other people, they say it could have been they knew about it for 2 hours. So, you
See,
know,
that's what my point, dude. It's I don't know. You tell me. I mean, it shouldn't be this. It shouldn't. It should be more clear cut. I mean, we have a presidential candidate, top runner. It doesn't matter. He could be the fucking last one in line. The fact of the matter is, this is what we're hearing, and is it real? Because it sounds so far fetched that you have the shooter walking across the field of people with the freaking ladder, people
right,
pointing him out to who is it, the CIA or FBI, whoever it is,
right, right. So that
and
there's so
nothing's
many
being
things,
done. So it was it.
right?
Did it really happen? What?
Here's the other thing, like, Just Kip, you should guys should all subscribe to Just Kip's channel. Like, I always keep posting him on my community page. It's amazing work he's doing. Him and Michelle just knocking it out of the park. But like what Just Kip has made a video, I think it was based upon an observation Michelle made. So I want to give Michelle credit too. But what happened was, um, uh, they looked at the actual footage from the event. Then you skip forward ahead to compare that to what Trump was saying on the speech last night. What Trump said was that he put he got shot in the ear and he put his hand to his ear and then blood was all over his hand. But you could clearly look at the video close up. There is no blood on his hand. It's like during that whole thing. So that is I don't know how you
You know,
remember.
dude. You know what? I also when I got home from my buddy's house. I heard about it. I turned it on, and they kept going. Oh, channel 7 here. I don't want to say any call numbers. Is it okay to say call numbers? I don't. ABC, NBC, CBS, ABB, CD, EFG is one of those stations.
Uh,
So they kept showing different clips of that time and different angles and so on and so forth. And one, honestly, I'm telling you, dude, I saw uh, from the moment you could tell when it looked like whatever came at you could see a projectile coming through. It looked like it hit something. There was some kind of spray. I saw it once. Check it out. I saw this clip once. After that, it was the same fucking clip, but just slightly different timing. So they just make it so questionable. Everything.
Right. Right. Exactly. And like, it's not like the government hasn't done that before. I mean, there's records of like, say, like the CIA was planning to set up Cuba. Like what they were going to do is do a false flag where I'm not making this up. You can research it yourself.
I just watched the show on a bunch of this stuff.
Where like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's not like they're like making things up.
They actually, yeah,
right.
It's not a matter of just all bullshit. We during it was World War II, I think it was. We had the crazy. It's on one of the stations now. I stream everything for TV, and I can't. I don't even want to tell a story. I can't remember the guy's name, but anyways, there was a soldier. He had passed away for certain reasons, and it wasn't an obvious reason. It wasn't like he got shot and half the head was gone, or there was a massive exit wound or something like that. He ended up eating rat poisoning somehow through food or whatever. So he was intact, and what they did is they left him floating out there, and they had freaking communications on him, and it was all bullshit. So what had happened was the Germans took that and thought it was true intelligence, and that's how we nailed them. It wasn't America, USA, I forget who it was. But anyways, my point is, it has been done.
Yeah.
Everyone being duped, even the U.S. citizens. I don't know. You have no fucking idea, man.
Okay, give me a second. No, you're great. That was perfect. That was exactly what we're talking about, DK. But give me a second. I want to play another video before I get off track.
Yeah,
because what happens is when people start learning about things like this, it gives them what's called cognitive dissonance. Because what Kat was bringing up. Because what happens is in their minds, they have a strongly held belief system. Like for example, like what Watt's talking about with the walk on the moon, where I personally don't think that happened. I don't think Watt would either. But like where we told the whole world.
That's a conversation. That's a conversation I'd love to have with you, brother, about that.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. We should talk about all this stuff. So like, so where you're told your whole life, this is true, believe the government,
Exactly.
And then you start getting all these facts come out that are incongruent with what you're strongly held.
Have I been lied my entire life?
Exactly. So it gives you cognitive dissonance because you have this untenable opposites between what you believe and what your the facts are. Hey, Amanda, what's up? How you doing, Amanda? Okay, so I'm going to play this video.
Birdcage. Honestly, my opinion, I've seen shit in the sky. I've never seen any little green men running around or anything like that. If you ask me my opinion of it, I don't know. You're saying aliens. Are you being specific? Or are we talking just, I'm sorry, but whoever thinks that there's absolutely no other living form or life in our galaxy, how do you know that? Can you tell me what tomorrow's fucking numbers are so I can make some money?
All right.
You can't be that naive.
Hang on, DK. I'm going to play this video real quick. Okay.
Yeah, play it.
All right. Thank you.
There are a few basic strategies that people use to try to ease the state of cognitive dissonance. 1. They change their belief and admit they were wrong. 2. They could find a way to rationalize their mistaken belief. 3rd. They avoid people who tell them the truth. And 4th, they could simply ignore the problem. And now that we have discussed the basic principle, let's move on to a more detailed description of cognitive dissonance. Leon Festinger proposed that human beings strive for internal psychological consistency to function mentally in the real world. A person who experiences internal inconsistency tends to become psychologically uncomfortable and is motivated to reduce the cognitive dissonance. They tend to make changes to justify the stressful behavior, either by adding new parts to the cognition causing the psychological dissonance, rationalization, believing that people get what they deserve, just world fallacy, taking in specific information while rejecting or ignoring others, selective perception, or by avoiding circumstances and contradictory information likely to increase the magnitude of the cognitive dissonance, confirmation bias. Festinger explains avoiding cognitive dissonance as, tell him you disagree and he turns away. Show him facts or figures and he questions your sources. Appeal to logic and he fails to see your point. So people will look for ways to reject information that contradicts their worldview. It is very difficult to process that everything you have been taught your whole life is a lie. So they look for a rationale to use to reject facts that make their preconceived worldviews uncomfortable. It is difficult for many people to process the magnitude of knowing that they have been lied to their whole lives, and this causes them cognitive dissonance. So they would rather embrace a reassuring lie than come to grips with an inconvenient truth. A great example of this would be Cypher in the Matrix film series, who chose to go back to the blue pill of deception and lies over the red pill of reality because the reassuring lie was more comforting than the facts. When people are presented with facts about how they have been lied to about politics, this makes them uncomfortable. It is hard for them to process the truth. So it is often easier for them to go back to embracing the reassuring lie that their vote counts. They will look for ways to reassure themselves and soothe their cognitive dissonance. So tonight we are going to be talking about cognitive dissonance. In a nutshell, cognitive dissonance happens when we dismiss facts that run contrary to our beliefs. And when we hold two thoughts that are inconsistent with each other, that is dissonance. Like, for example, a person with liberal views who says they are for women's rights and Islam at the same time, but those two things are incongruous from a Western perspective. This particular example of cognitive dissonance is symptomatic of the narratives that are pushed by the mainstream media. Please keep in mind that some of the information that I present is from Wikipedia. So you can always go there and read the entire article if you wanted to dive deeper into this topic. Some of you might even be inspired to dive into some full-blown research on the topic, but I am really just using this subject to make a point. The term cognitive dissonance originated within the discipline of psychology, but I am not professing to be an expert nor a professional practitioner at all. I am just a regular guy trying to make a point and hopefully inspire some independent thought, critical thinking, and intellectually interesting conversation. I personally value independent thought. So that said, let's take a look at smoking within the context of cognitive dissonance. Shall we? I don't think anyone at this point will disagree with me when I say that smoking is unhealthy. When people smoke, they are aware that it is unhealthy for them, but they smoke anyway. So this creates dissonance in their mind that they have to resolve. So how, exactly, do they resolve this contradiction between facts and their emotional need to believe that they are not doing anything wrong? Well, they basically have four options. First, they can change a thought. For example, tell themselves that smoking is actually good for them because it calms them down. Second, they can change the behavior. Like they can stop smoking. Third, they can add new thoughts such as, but I eat healthy food so it balances out. Or fourth, they can trivialize the inconsistency by saying things like, smoking really isn't that bad. And to get back to the main point, cognitive dissonance is when we dismiss facts that are contrary to our beliefs. For example, if one believes that pentagrams are evil, but Washington, D.C. is good, then when they learn that the layout of the streets in Washington, D.C. includes the shape of an upside-down pentagram, this inconsistency leads to cognitive dissonance. So now that we have a basic understanding that cognitive dissonance is basically the difficulty in trying to reconcile facts with incongruent beliefs, let's go into more tangible examples. According to Frank Fanon, sometimes people hold a core belief that is very strong. When they are presented with evidence that works against that belief, the new evidence cannot be accepted. It would create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable, called cognitive dissonance. And because it is so important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and even deny anything that doesn't fit within the core belief. For example, many people have been told since birth that the Earth is a globe. When they are presented with the fact that a camera lens can follow the sun far beyond the point where the prevailing science says the curvature should hide the sun from view, they will not accept this fact. They may ignore the evidence. They may deny that anyone has ever used a high-powered camera lens to view the setting sun farther out than would be possible. Or they may rationalize this by saying the curvature was still there, but perhaps the math was off by a bit. To put it another way, mental conflict occurs when beliefs or assumptions are contradicted by new information. When confronted with challenging new information, most people seek to preserve their current understanding of the world by rejecting, explaining away, or avoiding the new information, or by convincing themselves that no conflict really exists. For example, people who believe that fluoride is good for them have a hard time processing the fact that it is rat poison. So they can reject the information as faulty without bothering to research it. Or they can explain it away as the government must know better than we do, what is good for us than we do. So the benefits must outweigh the negatives. Or avoid the information by avoiding the people who try to inform them on the subject. I am not listening to you. I am not listening to you. I am not listening to you. People get upset when their beliefs are challenged. A mental conflict occurs when one's beliefs are contradicted by new information. This conflict activates areas of the brain involved within personal identity and emotional response to threats. So to some extent, the person experiencing the cognitive dissonance sees the person providing them with the facts which contradict their prior beliefs as a threat. If this person is connected to a group online or on YouTube, then the whole group may see you as a threat, where they may feel the need to circle the proverbial wagons, so to speak, to protect the rest of the group from the dangers that come from contradictory ideas or facts that do not support the group's preconceived beliefs. In this situation, the brain's alarm bells go off when the person or group feels threatened on a deeply personal and emotional level, causing them to shut down and disregard any rational evidence that contradicts what they previously regarded as truth. So there can definitely be a group form of cognitive dissonance. I would say that this is related to an us versus them mentality. You see that a lot with globe earth groups versus flat earth communities on social media, where the whole group rallies behind the person within the group being confronted with information from the other side. It soon becomes similar to a survival level fight or flight feeling, which resonates through the entire threatened group. They subconsciously view this as a threat to their very identity. Like ants fighting off an invader to the colony, or like bees fending off a hornet, as the hive mind seeks to protect itself from the invading force. I have noticed a similar type of group form of cognitive dissonance when it comes to cult-like groups on YouTube who value identity politics over facts and rational information. It is very similar to the hive mind found in bees, or ironically enough, the dystopian vision of a mind-controlled populace as described by Orwellian-influenced literature. As with all cults, mind control and groupthink are essential ingredients to sustain the group. Individuals are programmed to feel they have no value unless they are submissive to the will of the group. Independent thought is viewed as a threat to the group. The example of Jim Jones, where the phrase "drink the Kool-Aid" originated from, is a great example of the mentality of a cult. The cult will see any attempt by an outsider to use anything rational or factual to explain concepts which contradict their beliefs as a threat to their identity, which becomes cognitive dissonance. The groupthink version of cognitive dissonance can be found in many groups and social media that bear an uncanny resemblance to cults. Lower status members of these social media groups seek only to gain the approval of higher status members of the group, psychologically similar to children who long for the acceptance or approval of their parents, or pets who seek the approval of their owners. The need for approval or acceptance within the group is an emotional motivation which is difficult to break through with a factual or rational approach. And like a cult, independent thought is discouraged, while groupthink obedience is encouraged. Conformity is valued over truth in yet another form of cognitive dissonance. Many people will experience cognitive dissonance when it comes to the inherent Satanism that permeates the entertainment industry. The cognitive dissonance linked to the entertainment industry becomes tenfold when it comes to stars and performers that an individual personally admires. They often feel the need to defend the singers and movie stars that they feel attached to and admire. Often when these deniers are confronted with facts, such as the one-eye symbolism in countless celebrity photographs, or the black and white symbolism in film, or the satanic baptisms in blood as depicted in countless bathtubs filled with blood in photos with stars of the music industry. When confronted by these examples and all the other mountains of facts and evidence, people who experience cognitive dissonance will desperately look for ways to explain this evidence away and defend these celebrities. They just can't reconcile the facts with what they were trained and programmed to believe about these performers. They may to explain this away as the entertainers are trolling people, or the symbolism connected to these people is just a coincidence, etc. They feel like this knowledge is a personal attack on their identity. So they will try to defend these celebrities, or try to employ some of the other strategies people have used to reconcile their cognitive dissonance. Need another example? Look at all the women in Hollywood who were really born as men. Yet they pass these people off as women. You can point to facts such as the physical shape of their shoulders when compared to the hips, etc., but this can be difficult for some people to process. So they may reject the facts, deny the validity of the evidence, or avoid the people who are trying to explain this with rational facts. People who are unable to cope with this information are yet another case of cognitive dissonance. Many people also have a hard time processing Operation Paperclip. People think the United States is good and Nazis are bad, yet Operation Paperclip was all about the United States, bringing Nazi scientists back to America. This inconvenient fact conflicts with people's preconceived beliefs about America being good and Nazis being bad. This leads to cognitive dissonance that people try to solve by telling themselves that America had a good reason for this, or other attempts to reconcile the two beliefs they had about this. Then there's Project Mockingbird, where the Central Intelligence Agency controlled the news media. Supposedly, freedom of the press is the very First Amendment. And yet there it is, the government was indeed controlling the press. And herein lies a contradiction that leads to cognitive dissonance in many people. Many people still trust the government. Many people emphatically hold up the Constitution as the law of the land. But clearly, this is just one example of where government simply ignored the Constitution. This is definitely a case of cognitive dissonance. How can you reconcile this inconvenient fact with one's beliefs about documents like the Constitution? And speaking of the Central Intelligence Agency, what about President George Bush Sr.? Before George Bush became president, he was head of the CIA. People have a strong belief that the president stands for America. But George Bush promoted the New World Order while he was president. Since the Old World Order basically is America, what then President Bush was advocating for was the destruction of America, otherwise known as the Old World Order. So how do you reconcile the fact that Bush was supposed to promote the interests of America, while out of his own mouth, he wanted to destroy America? Surely this leads to cognitive dissonance. And I haven't even gotten to the other beliefs that hold about all the other presidents and how they are related by blood. Then you have a strong belief that America is a Christian nation, and yet the fact is that many American presidents were Freemasons who wore the red fez cap of Shriners. Not everyone knows what the red fez hat with a tassel represents. It is red because it represents the blood of Christians who were killed by Muslim Turks. So this fact can be hard to reconcile with the belief that America is a Christian country. Once again, this leads to cognitive dissonance. Then there is the strong belief people have that our elections are legitimate and true. But let's see how that belief holds up against the facts, shall we? Fact number 1, the Rothschilds control the Federal Reserve Bank, which is not federal at all, and in the guise of other banks is where both candidates get their funds to run for president. Secondly, the Rothschilds have openly proclaimed that they don't care who writes the laws, as long as they control the money. Third, the the Rothschilds own the news media. Fourth, the government colluded with the Rothschilds' own news media via the Central Intelligence Agency to work together and control the American people during Project Mockingbird. So obviously, the Rothschilds control the government, so the Rothschilds control the elections. I mean selections. So the belief that people have in the election process is contradicted by inconvenient facts. This is, in my opinion, the strongest case of cognitive dissonance. In my opinion, this causes emotional reactions where people reject the facts and demonize and avoid the messenger. As if the messenger is guilty of spreading inconvenient truth, so the messenger should be avoided. As if being naive and unable to process the truth was a virtue. Once again, this is an example of cognitive dissonance. And any peer pressure to stifle the truth from groupthink, dark age villagers with pitchforks is not helping you learn or break free from the programming that enslaves us. Now trust me, I can go on and on and on with this subject. But I think you get the point. So I thank you all for taking the time to listen to this, and I will open up the forum to conversation to discuss this topic of cognitive dissonance. I thought I would try to elevate the conversation on here, respect your intelligence, and hopefully encourage people to use their critical thinking skills. Thank you.
Hey,
And that is it. That was the presentation. So do you have anything you want to add to that, DK?
no, honestly, the whole time I was itching to say something, but I didn't want to. Can't interrupt the freaking your video. I agree.
Okay, right on, cool. The hidden. Oh yeah, that too, Tammy. Yeah. See, it's a lot. It's kind of a lot to take in. From
It
right?
is, and when I say I agree, if we go through bit by bit, I'm sure there's gonna, you know me,
Right.
Not that I'm gonna disagree, but I'm gonna have a question. I'm gonna fucking excuse my language. Yeah, I'm gonna question certain things because of my thoughts, my own beliefs. But for the most part, you didn't freaking. It was all true.
And like I just woke up like really a few years ago, so it's like it's this is all new to me too. So I have nothing but empathy for people who have a hard time
This
processing it.
I was when it comes to politics, I don't go. I go. We've talked a million times. I'm not claiming any party at all. I'm claiming the party that's good for us. Period. We're never gonna agree or like all of their policies. But you take the good with the bad. I mean, but then knowing what we know, and I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or something like that, but honestly, I don't know that my vote really matters.
It doesn't. You know
I
what
don't
it
want
is?
to. You know exactly where I'm, and I hesitate because actually I don't know why I'm hesitating because I don't give a flying hoot. That's how I feel. And
Yeah.
if you feel differently, show me where I'm going wrong because why do we have Biden? Why it's wrong. We talked before. It's like elder abuse. The man needs help. I understand he's already in the office, but just all the crap. I don't know. I'm also really stoned, so I have to make sure I tell you. You know me, anyways. I get on a tangent, and I'm like, "What was I talking about?"
No, but you're very like you must be like on the sativa because you're pretty clear thought
Yeah,
clear thinking on it. Right on.
it's
That's why if I was on, I'd be on sativa too. The other stuff is
it's
supposed to be asleep.
I don't know. The more you look into it, the more you question. At least I do.
Yeah,
And
that's healthy though, right?
what I question is, I have family members. I have an uncle that is so ignores everything, and he votes strictly Democrat, it does not matter. We could have someone up there that is literally everyone can see, and he's flat out telling you, whatever you want to say, I'm going to destroy this or whatever, something that you should not be doing, and it don't matter. And I look at him like, are you kidding me? And he's like, well, what? It doesn't. Anyone other than Democratic Party is the Antichrist. And I look at him like, you can't think that way.
Yeah.
I'm turning 53 this year, and he's a lot older than I am. And he's like, I can think any way I want. I'm like, you can, but you can also be an asshole about it. You know what I mean? You can't, you have to have an open mind. Times have changed. Democratic Party's not the same anymore. Republican Party's not even close. And then we get everyone else. It's, I don't know.
I agree 100%. Hey,
the character of the person, not the freaking party they run with.
Well, they're all fake though, really, DK. Because like, if you think about it, like you don't get that far up the chain of command and just waltz in and take power. like you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how I get in here?
You know what?
Right.
Peanut, the other night I was like, all right, 39 years old senator, and honestly, I was impressed. He seemed like an intelligent person. 39 years old, and he's going to be the vice president. They're going to, what am I going to say? He's going to be running as if it goes through or whatever. I don't know.
Hey, Truth Freeze, you want to jump in here real quick?
Oh, hey, great show. And listen, in general, I think you hit the nail on the head with this little documentary. It covered fluoride a little bit, Rothschilds, but it's a snippet into our world. And Jesus tells us, this world, for whatever reason, God allowed Satan to be running this world. Because if you remember, he tempted Jesus.
I was just going to say, how do we allow this to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
You're right. Yeah, people don't get it. They think that like, well, not their fault, Truth Reese, but in my opinion, that what they do is they look at the U.S. and think the U.S. is good as it is, right? And so they think, well, look, if if I just keep pumping into the U.S., then it's going to be good. But what they're doing, they're separating like God from the world. You know what I mean? Like are trying to put it together, and they don't realize like how it's subtlety. The devil doesn't just come out with a marching band and smoke signals and the blue angels flying overhead.
I agree with you. The point you're getting to right there, but honestly, my strong opinion is we need to separate them, because I don't believe religion should be any part of this hell. I don't believe we're thinking clearly anymore.
Well, and there is no political solution.
There's nothing.
The spiritual warfare we're in.
Yes. There's not even, forget about spirit. There's no one thinking spiritual. It has, I'm just pissed off.
Oh, yeah. Even take spiritual out. There is no political solution with the corruption and, how deep and dark stuff is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I don't believe there's any space for religion, because the corruption, there's so much crap in.
Well, I agree. There's two separate things. Because
wait. One thing I got to say, DK,
okay.
Religion is part of the world system. It's part of the politics. Jesus didn't come to set up a religion. That's where people get mistaken.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
And I agree. My point behind this, it's why would you put, I know what you're saying, but what's going on right now, it's just shooting everything down. It's just going to put a bad freaking light on all religion, regardless of what it is. I mean, everyone's beliefs, we're being lied to all the time.
Yep, absolutely. And one person pointed out I stopped voting for president the last few terms, because once I learned on principle that they're selected, I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils. I will vote for you, and I'll vote for Peanut before I'll vote for what they're putting up as candidates. Oh shoot, lost my train of thought here. There is no political solution, and we're given this dichotomy always left, right. That's why they do the red and blue. You ever notice America? The
Yes.
mainstream there, it's always red, blue, red, blue. It's
Right.
the routine system. They're still pushing that
We-
on us, and it's a Jesuit papal Rome ploy that you pick one or two. It's civil war. It's civil divide.
You know what?
Right. Oh yeah,
What's
they're hurting
always
people.
what's always bothered me is the electoral. I'm not going to be able to say it. Electoral votes.
Yeah.
If I'm in a Democratic state and I want to vote for a Republican, it's not going to be heard, and vice versa.
Right.
And I understand the reason why we do it, but I mean, how do you? There's issues. There's fucking huge issues.
It's like people who planned the game, a theater ahead of time,
Right. Right.
and they made the movie,
Yep. Yep.
and you either play along or you get kicked out. If you're
Yep.
not playing along, you're out. So that way they corral and make sure, just like the music industry today. If you ain't with us, you're out. But we're gonna make sure because we control the purse. And that's how they do it. Yeah.
Wait, guys, let me make a point real quick. To me, it's kind of like how Hulk Hogan was appearing in front of the RNC meeting, whatever it was, and then they're talking about having The Rock like come in at some point. I've heard people throw that idea out there on before. So it's very similar to wrestling, where in wrestling, it's like a movie, but at the same time, you're supposed to cheer for your guy. And the whole thing is fake. Like, come on, Rock, you can win this time, or
exactly.
Would you say it's
And I don't-
choreographed?
Absolutely,
Choreographed.
of course, it's
You know
choreographed.
it is. It
It's the
has
whole
to
thing.
be.
Yep.
Yeah,
And also along with that, I'm completely against any any person in the spotlight, any movie star, wrestler, sports player, anything like that. We all have a right to say what we want, but that can hurt us. If someone goes out there and starts pumping and gets all the votes for someone, and that person is not the right person for it, I'm not putting in the right words. I'm babbling here.
No, but what I think in part what you're saying. Well, I think it's the mainstream media, the corporate. They control the narrative on most Americans, because most Americans, they're going to watch Fox or CNN or anything in between. They're not going to listen to
I've seen it on all the stations, which really sucks, because there are stations that Peanut and I were talking. They will want at one point they weren't even showing. I got to watch what I say. They weren't even showing any speeches from Trump or anything. You can't do that. You have to show it has to be impartial.
Well, no, they got to do that. They do that on purpose to make people enraged on the right side, the conservative.
But it's feeding it, and not everyone catches on to that shit. I mean, we're all talking, sitting here. We understand what's going on, all of us.
Well, not fully. None of us fully can really grasp what's going on. I don't think.
No, but we grasp it. The what is it? The gaslighting or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, wait a second. I guess I want to say something real quick, just to kind of keep it in. Is that like for people who have a hard time of understanding that like politics are contrived, they're not real, that has to do with cognitive dissonance, because what it is that they have this strong held belief that it's real, and so when they're confronted with facts that discount that, they have a hard time processing that there's a conflict between what they believe, what they think,
and you can't have a straight conversation with the people. And
but wait, take it a level further so we can understand it better. Imagine a soldier who goes after 9/11. Goes to Iraq or Afghanistan and goes and kills people, and then finds out it was a lie.
Right. Oh my God. That's totally cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
And like the thing about it though, I rarely try to avoid that, and I'll go talk about a lot of things, because that's like the hardest thing. That's even beyond politics for people to grasp that. You know what I mean? Like that is like really difficult for them to understand that they were and like actually all these wars. Since we're on the subject, let's talk about it. All these wars are controlled by the Rothschilds. They even tell you that they say, "Hey, if my sons didn't," this is the mom Rothschild talking. If my sons didn't want wars, there wouldn't be any.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's partly why the suicide rate is so high in America, because America is your, the world's military might. Yeah, and the suicide rate's so high.
Excuse my language, but they're just feeding us a line of mindful. Thank you. So,
go ahead, DK.
Oh, that just completely erased the thought. What the hell was I thinking? It's back at with Bush, they called it what? Bad intelligence. How? Explain that to me.
Oh, failure. Yeah, failure of it. I'm sorry for the interruption with the phone.
No,
I don't know how to shut that up. But yeah, failure of intelligence.
And what happens is these guys, they go off to war, and what they don't understand is, unless they come back and the truth gets revealed, then they have the cognitive dissonance, what you're talking about, Truth Threes. But in the whole thing, though, it's they don't understand is that like that's why we're here. That's why they have the United States. We're the thugs of the world. We are the army to carry out the will of the Illuminati, the Zionists, if you will. So what happens is what they don't understand is they don't need us anymore. It's like I made a video about that earlier. Is that people don't realize that we're running on fumes. Is that like we've been fired,
really are.
but we haven't received our official paper saying you're fired. Clean up your desk. So what it is that right. Is that like because that's where the dollar's going to collapse and people are going to be like, huh, what's going on here? I signed up.
Open your eyes.
Exactly. So what it is like that they don't need us anymore. We used to be the thugs of the world. We were the police, whatever you want to call it, right? And now what it is that they need to get rid of us because now we're a hindrance to the New World Order, and so they have to make everything collapse, and that like the giving back the shoe.
We're so far off from what I see. We're so far off from so many things. It's like we're the crackheads of the universe, the thugs of the world. I laughed because it's perfect. We have our face and nose in everything.
Right.
For exactly. What? I'm with you. Yes, I believe in helping. I don't care who it is, helping where help's needed. But we, at the same time, we're all saying it. We've all said it for years. I've said it my entire life. But we're not helping ourselves.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Look at veterans, the poor veterans, and all this money going out to everybody else. But we don't even help the people here.
Not even. I mean, of course, the veterans, the elderly, people in need, but just all of us, everyone in this country.
Yeah. The liberals. The Democrats, they've made a way to make sure the money's going to illegals over, not just to illegals, but over us Americans. Because right down the street from me, 35 veterans were kicked out of a hotel, and I think it was to make room for illegals coming in. Yeah, it's beyond.
There's so many things that I work at a grocery store. And right down where I'm in Foxborough, Mass, the home of the Patriots. Remember that, Peanut. Season's coming up soon. So my point is, the illegals. Whatever. I was illegal at one point too. We don't need to get into the whole goddamn thing, but yes, we are giving a lot, and rightfully we should. But we're giving more than we're giving our own people that have worked. I have family members that have worked their entire life, and their Social Security, they're not getting even close to what these people are being given monthly. I understand why we're doing it. I understand why we're doing it because shit ain't cheap anymore. But we need to remember our own, and we don't.
Yes. And illegals over legal, okay, immigrants. And I don't even I don't even discount illegal if you're like what do you call you're trying to get status for you're in a war torn zone, you're fearing for your life and all refugee, right? Status. Yep. Yeah. But but the government is the liberal government, Democrat government. They're turning around to attack Americans and give to MS-13. Yeah. And from what I hear, they get training. It's probably CIA tied. They go to prison in America, get released, go back, come back, and now they're like really like sort of like what mercenaries. Yeah.
Yeah, guerrillas. Yeah.
Hey, I got an idea. Truth Freeze, you want to help me read a script because it's for 3 people. We got 3 people.
Okay.
All right, it's not a joke one, so it'll trust me. Are you down for that?
Sure.
All right, that's what I'm talking
just
about.
Give me 1 second. I got to run bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll be right here. All right, and that says Truth Freeze. Oh, hey, what's up, T. Ryans? How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here. Right on. Truth Freeze, you want to add anything to that? I know you got a lot to say.
Oh my goodness. Well, the wars, the Ukrainian, Russian debacle, that is a mess. And if people just knew the history, just recent history, what really happened. The U.S. did a coup on Ukraine, I think in 2012, 2013, and that we deposed a democratically elected president who was anti-NATO, pro-Russian, for Ukraine. Ukraine used to be part of Russia. And Newland and a few other people, we did a coup. And now we're in the mess we're in with the Bidens. And we're now like sending constantly billions to Ukraine. And Zelensky, who dances in high heels and plays the piano. I don't even want to say it. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And so, but on top of it, many Ukrainian men have been democided. They're killed. They've been killed off under this whole shenanigan lie of Ukraine against Russia and America supporting it. We have directly involved with the genocide of a lot of young Ukrainians. And then you go to Gaza and Israel and the Palestinian genocide. We are directly involved. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even want to go near that shit.
You know what's funny about all that stuff too is like, first of all, I'm not taking any away from the guys in the military. I know that like it's not their fault. They're brave souls. They're out there doing what they can. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I get it. So
they have a job to do.
They have a job to do, and much respect. But still, they're being used like a lot of us are. You know, and there's no judgment here. I'm just saying that like that. I wish people would wake up and see things for what they are, so that like you know that this whole thing is it's just it's an illusion. Like we're all in this. You know. All right, go for it.
I'll give you, Mike. We can talk sometime. I got a story for you. It's personal. Okay. It's my family, and it's exactly what you just said. Military taking advantage, using and abusing, and how it ends up for a family. It's my family and what's happened. So we can. It's crazy. It's exactly what you just said.
Okay, with that in mind, let's read a script. How's that sound, you guys?
All right, let's do it.
You down for this, Truth Freeze?
Sure.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Bada bang. All right, and it was you don't realize it, but you have entered into a non-written formal agreement that you have agreed to do this. I'm just teasing.
Oh, hold up. The DocuSign's on its way.
Yeah, exactly. All rights
Get me in
reserved.
trouble with the NSA. That's all right.
All right.
You weren't
Monkey
here.
style. Okay, so we're gonna go present. It's gonna be share screen. Dun dun dun. And it's gonna be this thing right to here. Right to here. I'm gonna say it like Italian. It's the what we do. You can watch. That's the most Swedish now. Okay. All right. So DK, do you want to
Yeah.
play? Do you want to be Jesus or Lucifer?
Well, come on.
Um,
Then I think about it. I'm like, I don't. You know what? Wait. I was
you should be
sending a
Jesus.
message.
I'll be Lucifer. All right.
Yeah, put me who you think.
Yeah. You can
I'll
be
be
Jesus.
anyone.
You'll be Jesus. I will be playing the
Jesus.
dark one. And then of course, Mary will be played by Truth Freeze. Sound good?
All right.
All right. Maybe you can't back out now. We've got an agreement. We've got a contract. Okay. So I'll start. Can you else all see the screen?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Giggity giggity. Oh yeah. Hey, Kool-Aid.
I can do it. I just don't want to be that loud to you guys. Oh yeah.
And also, yeah, you go ahead, be loud as you want. Woohoo! All right. So I'll be the narrator too. Our story begins after the end of a sermon. Thousands of people had come to watch Jesus preach, and many of them were seeking a miracle. Jesus was exhausted, but he waited there graciously until he had given another moment of his life to listen to each and every person who came to him seeking him. After everyone was satisfied with what they had come for, the apostles came to Jesus to seek his counsel. They had many questions regarding what they should do from here, but he knew this could wait, and he needed a moment of quiet reflection and prayer. So Jesus needed a moment alone, and his disciples understood and respected that. But after a few minutes, there was a commotion outside of his tent. The argument outside was enough to distract Jesus from his prayers, so he pulled back the entrance to the tent to see what was going on. It was then that he saw who it was, the one person in the world who could get away with this.
Son.
Mother, you're the one
What?
person I wanted to see.
Oh, you better. Uh-oh. My sight's not really great. You better. Sorry. Give me a second here. You better be happy to see me. I am still your mother, you know. And what is wrong with Peter? Did he have a mother who raised him to be disrespectful and inconsiderate like that? To try to stop a worried mother from being her son? Shame on you, Peter. Wait.
Come inside, Mom. You have no idea how happy I am to see you. But take it easy on Peter. He gets a bit carried away with things sometimes. And he was only trying to protect me. I'm exhausted, Mary.
Mary, I didn't carry you in my womb for 9 months and then give birth to you at the petting zoo like a smelly farm animal. Have to explain to Joseph who the father really was and then raise you for 18 years for you to call me Mary. I'm your mother, whether you are the savior or not. Got it.
Yes, Mother.
Jesus laughs and gives his mother a warm hug.
I love you, Mama.
I love you too, Jesus. But you look like skin and bones here. I brought you some dinner. A mother has instincts about this sort of thing. Somehow I knew you needed me. Now, eat, eat. Don't keep your poor mother waiting. I've been worried sick over you, and I spent hours preparing this for you.
Mary licks a cloth and uses it to clean his face.
Who is taking care of you? You are a mess.
Mom, you need to stop this. I'm a man. I love you. But you need to let go. I have a heavy weight on my shoulders to bear. I feel all the hurt I am completely lost. And they carry inside them, I may be a child, but they're all my children. They need me. And I'm tired, but they rely on me, and I don't know enough to appreciate them. At least you know to love. At least you know I love you. But will they respect me? Do you have any idea what it feels like to love someone faithfully and unquestionably to the point where you're willing to die for them, and then they'll reject me?
I will never reject you, my son.
I know, Mom. You always know how how to lift my spirits. Even when those children rejected me and the entire world turns their back on me, and I know that you love me, but it hurts inside to feel the massive weight of the whole world turning their back on me, and they never knew me. You know, I created my children out of love, and all I ever really wanted is to return. Wow. In return, it was to be loved, but not forced. They need to come to me on their own. That's the only way.
I remember when you were on the path, learning to walk. You fell down and cried a few times, and it was hard for me to see you cry. Can you blame me for wanting to protect you and make you feel better? So every time you fell, I was there to pick you up, but I encouraged you and waited for you to take your first steps in my waiting arms. So just remember, Jesus, I will always be here for you, no matter who rejects you, as long as I live. You will never be alone. I will never leave your side. And no matter what the world sees you as, I am your mother, and you will always be my son.
It is a narrow path, Mom. And you were always there to pick me up and encourage me. But most important of all, you loved me, just like I love all my children. So even when things seem dark and at their darkest and there's no hope, I'm always there for them, waiting for my children to call me, so they never truly are alone. But they have to choose to let me in and accept me. That's something they must do on their own. And Mom, I just want you to know I love you, but I need you to be strong for me. This will be the last meal for me for the next 40 days and 40 nights. I need to fast. I need to fast alone on the mountain in the wilderness.
Now, you don't take that tone with me, son. I raised you from birth, and I came all this way, walking for miles, just to see you and bring you a care package. You are doing nothing of the sort. I already told you that you look like skin and bones. Can't you see that I'm worried about you? Look what you are doing to your poor mother.
My Father will provide me with everything I need. Have faith.
I brought you into this world. There's no way I'm letting you put yourself into harm's way like this. You know you have powerful enemies who would do anything to catch you all alone. And even if they don't get you, the vipers will.
What's the difference? They're all sticks, especially, what is this, Pharisees?
Yeah.
Let them come. It isn't my time yet. And even if it was my time, I shall feel no evil. Nothing can stop me from saving my children, even if they reject me in a million times. It hurts me. But I'd take on the hurt from the entire world if I had to for them. But the only thing I cannot do is force them to choose me.
Come home with me, son. You've done enough. How many miracles have you performed? And many blind men have you healed? You are exhausted. They are killing you. They are taking every last drop from you, and yet they are still not satisfied. Please come home with me, Jesus. It breaks my heart to watch you slowly fall apart while I helplessly watch in the background. How am I supposed to watch my son die? You are of my flesh and blood.
The flesh will die, Mother. This is the nature of the cardinal existence. But the souls live on. I need to test myself to make sure I'm ready to prepare and prepared for what's to come. I have a heavy burden to bear, but I've come to serve. I love my children more than they will ever know. Just like you to love me as your child. I know you'd gladly die for me if you had to. And here I offer up myself in humble service to my children, even if they don't appreciate me or understand any this right way.
Jesus, you are my son. Please don't do this to me. I don't think I can take this. It hurts too much.
Don't worry, Mom. You have to trust me. Have faith. The time will come when I wipe away all your tears. You do trust me, don't you?
Yes, son, I understand this, but I trust you and I trust in the Lord.
I am your son. I will always be your son, Mom. If you've seen the Son, then you have seen the Father. I love you, but I must leave now. I need to do this.
Jesus hugged his mother a long, warm hug, and then departs on his way as he exits the scene from the apostle encampment. His journey leads him to a desolate mountain where he begins to pray, accompanied by the sounds of venomous snakes, which begin to slither around him.
Sorry.
Sunrise. Get the sound effect in there.
I didn't know.
You're an actor / sound effect. A man of many talents. Sunrise turns to the sunset for 39 days as he fasts and prays with no end. His dreams are filled with symbolism and visions of what was, what is, and what is to become. He dips in and out of consciousness for days on end on what can only be described as a profound dream like visions that blur the lines between this world and the next, to the point where the borders of the veil which separates reality as we know it from the dimensions of the spirit realm become indistinguishable from this carnal realm. The days
Yep.
begin to fly by as reality seems to lose all meaning, like a time lapse photography, psychedelic hallucination, where a mere mortal soul would have sunken into delirium and dementia, from which they might have been so torn by the brutally harsh experience that have the very frameworks of what we know as reality being ripped apart to its very threads within the mind's eye. That one could become permanently detached enough from the coils of this mortal existence to never return and enter the other world of the dead. As starvation and heat exhaustion worked like the angel of death itself to escort the soul to its final destination. But this was no ordinary man. Jesus had to endure the journey to the world of the in between, where even angels dare not tread. And like a sword that has been tempered by the unforgiving elements of fire in the forges of fate itself, the elements of creation were testing him to the limits of what can be physically endured to strengthen the soul at the expense of the flesh, even to the point of exhaustion, hunger, and unthinkable pain. And right when he was closest to the point of losing it, when he was the most vulnerable, that is when he was accosted by the fall and to collapse when Lucifer caught him in his arms. Oh, not yet, my friend. Not so fast. You need to stick around for this. I can't let you go that easy. This is my world now, friend.
Lucifer.
Yes, I was called that once. It's been a very long time since anyone has called me that. I have so many names now: Satan, the fallen one, Zeus, Apollo, Osiris, Baal, the devil, etc. I could go on, but I don't want you to die on me before I'm done with you, Jesus.
What do you want, Lucifer?
What do I want? Well, what do you think I want? I only want to help. I saw you suffering over there, and I felt bad for you. But enough about me. It's not about me, it's about what I can do for you. I am here only to help.
I don't need your help.
Oh, Jesus, do not allow my reputation to fool you. I am the victim in all this thing. Think of me like Prometheus, if you will. I only wanted to help humanity. Is that such a crime, really? By bringing them the gift of enlightenment. I am the light bearer. But God, your Father, took it out on me and sent me here. So if you think about it, God is the one who is wicked and cruel, not me.
You know, you're a liar. You are the father of all lies.
You know, it is talk like this which is just plain hurtful. I mean, I tired to liberate humanity from a jealous God who wanted to stop the humans from becoming gods themselves. So if you think about it, I am the unsung hero in this story.
Lucifer, your sales pitch never changes. After all these years, you're still spilling out the same old crap.
You know something, Jesus? All this talk has got me working up quite an appetite. If you will excuse me for one moment, and I think you will, I will make myself a sandwich. Deviled eggs, of course. But where are my manners? Surely I am forgetting someone. Now, who could it be? Was it Peter? No, wasn't Peter. Was it Judas? My personal favorite. No, it wasn't Judas. Now, who could it be? Think, Lucifer. Who? Oh, wait. I know. It was you. How rude of me. Would you like a sandwich too, Jesus? They're absolutely to die for.
It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God.
Fine, fine. Have it your way, Jesus. But I have an idea. Maybe a new setting will help you to loosen up a bit and get with the party. I'm only trying to help you, of course. The devil takes Jesus to the highest point in the temple. Look, you don't need me. Just help yourself. I, for one, always help myself to whatever I want. You should try it sometime, Jesus. Words to live by, you know. Anyway, if you are truly the Son of God, then throw yourself down. For it is written that he will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your poor little precious foot against a stone.
Yeah. And it's also written that do not put the Lord your God in the test, to the test.
The devil took Satan. The devil took Lucifer. The devil took Jesus to the tallest mountain in the land. What is it going to take for me to help you? Help me to help you. I mean, look. Take a look at around you. It's everywhere. Do you see that? All those kingdoms of this world? Well, you're in my world now, Jesus. All these kingdoms of the world are mine to give to little old you. This includes the United States as well. Where do you think all that pornography in this world comes from? Really? I mean, I got to take credit where credit is due, don't I? Who do you think pays all the child trafficking? All that child trafficking? It sure isn't little old God. He abandoned this world a long time ago. You do realize that the Freemasons work for me, don't you? And they have learned from me. Oh, they've learned how to present themselves as angels of light to the gullible people. Sure, they might act like they are helping someone from time to time, but they all do that. Have you seen all the charity work of Bill Gates? Does that mean Bill Gates is a great person? In my book, he is. Honestly, Jesus, I know I can't dupe you. You're just far too wise for that. So I'm going to sell you this straight. They are just as naive now as they were in the garden. If these dirtbag humans don't have television news to tell them something, they won't see it. They actually believe Biden is not playing them. You gotta laugh sometimes, Jesus, at how naive they are.
Get to the point, Satan.
Well, the point is, they're beneath me, and I'm not alone. We resent serving them. I mean, even when they are right next to you, they'll end up denying you 3 times. It has been my point the whole time that they're beneath us. It's disgusting. We were the first. We are the angels. How are we even compared to these flesh bags? They will never appreciate God.
You mean like how? You appreciate God?
Hey, I didn't leave God. He left me. I was the one who was that right there with him the whole time at the throne. I saw the whole thing right from the beginning. He was the one who betrayed me, not the other way around. I should be the one in charge. I would have never made that mistake with you, the dirtbags in this world. I am better than that. I'm much better than that. To even put me in the same sentence is quite insulting. And I am better than God. But my time is short. Yes, it is. So I'm going to get right to the point. This is my world now for a time. And I will give you your choice of any kingdom of this world. You will live like a king. And all little old me, all I ask in return is that you worship little old me. That is my final offer.
All you are was a spoiled brat that's full of pride for absolutely no reason. You've hurt humanity in ways that are unforgivable. You've damned your own friends in heaven, and they'll be damned for eternity. And the truth is, the only one you actually care about is yourself. There's no good in you. I came here to serve my children. You were never asked to do anything that I would do myself. Away from me, Satan, for it's written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only.
Dun, dun, dun. The end. Dun, dun, dun. I hope that worked out okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I stumbled and bumbled.
Oh, I thought you did a great job. I thought that worked out perfectly. Good job. Awesome.
No. Oh, crap. Dun, dun, dun.
Stop that screen real quick. Okay. Bam. Okay. Well, good. Hey, thanks for helping me out too, DK. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Kit. Appreciate that, you guys. Hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. And DJ New Moon. Hey, what's up, DJ? Thanks for being here again. Okay, so we got about 15 more minutes. I want to play. Do you mind if I play one song real quick, TK? Then we'll
do it.
That's
Definitely.
what I'm talking about. All right, so it's going to be. Let's play this one again real quick. I guess it's going to be present. Thanks, Angel. Appreciate you. Okay, video file. It's going to be. It's going to be. See. Oh, here we go.
couldn't do it, find a movie back. On the wall, Albert Garbell. Go down the cash that I was dealt. But she's back to baby. But what a day. So I was drawn to her. Like a moth to a flame. She threw down on running clams. Cause she knew how to treat a man. Then she pulled me by my tie. And those deep in my eyes. Cold around me like a snake. Oh, she was dirty. Like a cop on a tape. Asked me to take gold from cake. She was worried. Still go missing without a trace. And indeed, she may have been this yet. You still want to leave behind. Getting wasted. That woman was fire. A little bit but down. She was going to the asylum. Only then to fall. Away by the fire, till everything was burned. In the panic of the island. Well, she was bad news. But what a thing, 'cause I was drawn to her like a moth to a flame.
I love that song, dude.
Really? Oh, cool. Good. Thank you. That makes me feel good.
I do.
I appreciate that. I kept it simple, but trying to like have it create like a mood. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I can't remember his name. It reminds me of a movie with oh jeepers, Danny Trejo.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't think of it now too, but yeah, he's like the villain in all these movies, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
it just goes with one of his movies, and
Right.
I can't. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, no, I'm
It would
picturing
fit
it in my mind.
perfectly. Yeah, the song would fit it perfect. It just goes.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It would flow with that for sure. Kind of has like a lot of people say it has like a cinematic quality to it. They think of like
Yes.
Pulp Fiction or something, but yeah, that would work too for sure. Yeah, you're right. Great point. now it's gonna bug me. I'm gonna think like, what movie was that movie where like the girl had like a chainsaw arm or something, and there's
No,
like cars
I'm
or
thinking
something?
about like what I don't know what movie, but like they're in a vehicle or a car or a truck or something like that, and they're just showing the camera's pointing out the window, and you just see. I don't know if they're in Vegas or something like that. You're just seeing buildings go by and shit.
I could totally see that. That would work out perfectly. It's like I think what it is too is it kind of like tells a story. I think it's like some songs do like a lot of Johnny Cash songs. They tell a story.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's kind of an older style. Maybe that is. I'm too old to be into
It's real music though.
Oh, right on. That's what just Kip. Yeah, Kip. Like people bring up Pulp Fiction. They think it has like. I think it could fit there, but it fit in other things too. I think, but yeah, it's definitely has like a story or movie thing vibe to it or something. I think. Yeah, I got to start writing more music. It takes forever though, and yeah, it took me a long time to put these together. But I thought the script went pretty well though, DK. I'm glad you had fun with that.
Yeah, I did. The whole time I'm like, I wish I tried to get ahead. I don't know. I don't want to just read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. And then it's all, by the way, in case someone didn't know, it's all basically a first read. Bam, it's like a cold read. You're just like jumping in.
That was cool though.
Yeah, as opposed to like practicing it and whatnot. So right?
Yeah, if we get to read it over beforehand, I just have more fun with it. But
oh yeah, we could always do it again sometime. Like
that was good though.
You were laughing at me while I was playing the parts.
Your freaking laugh kills me. You say something, you chuckle, and I'm like,
that's hilarious, man. I have so much fun doing those. Because I'm glad you can enjoy it too.
Yeah, no, I love readings.
It's like just fun. You're so good at it too. I I learn from you. Like when it's like you do these things like these inflections in your voice that are just like it's like you're totally breathing life into the character, which I dig.
That's what that's why I'd love to see some.
Jason said you couldn't even tell it was a cold read on your part, so you did a great job.
Yeah, you try to read as far ahead as you can with the page in front of you. But if we had time beforehand, I don't know. I like acting like a goof.
Yeah, we can always do it again.
I can be serious too sometimes, right?
Yeah. I thought you would be better as Jesus because you have like kind of a you have a very
I don't have a tough guy fucking attitude.
Not tough. It's like you don't have a deceptive attitude. You're very like what you see is what you get kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That's
so I thought you'd be better. That's why I did that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Truth Freeze is great too. I mean, good job. Thank you for doing that, Truth Freeze. I hope she enjoyed it. So she kind of bailed on us. I don't mean in a bad way, but like I didn't get a chance to say anything. But Truth Freeze, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for helping me with that. I mean, that's what it's there for. Really, just have fun and to do stuff with. I thought like do something a little different, so it kind of gives some glory to the creator, instead of just joking around like what we usually do. So that's what my thinking was behind that.
Yeah, just Kip, exactly. It's. I know. It's just.
Massachusetts, get in the claw.
It's the Massachusetts in them.
Eat your chowder, get in the claw. We got to go. Get in the claw.
Seriously, and I hold back too. I do.
I should have read his queef. Chicken Little was hilarious. Well, I did this I did a script where it was based upon like a character I made up called Beaver Boy, right?
Yep.
And he was like from Plum Island or something, and like he turned into like this like a cryptid called Beaver Boy, right? So he's always like people are always after his wood, right?
Who's Queef though?
Queef is like a French duck, right? He's oui, I'm Queef. He talks like that, right? And then
come underneath my. I need to think about that one first.
Monsieur, it is Queef the duck.
What do they have? Wing. Let me take you under my wing.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Eric was playing Queef. He did a great job in that. It's hilarious. And yeah, we should. Well, I need to write another one of those. So we'll do like bring back Queef the duck.
Jason, you're a Texan. Texas.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's Texan. Okay, right on, Jason. Woohoo!
Yeah, I've never been. I would absolutely love to. I fucking love to visit your state.
I lived there for a while, actually. I lived there in Houston.
Never been. Always wanted to. I've been a chef for 33 years. There are a lot of freaking places I have not been, and Texas is a huge one. There's so many cities and so many spots and everywhere.
Oh, Houston, yeah, that's where I lived out. Was Houston. It's kind of out by Katy. Yeah, they have Tex-Mex. They're all about Tex-Mex and barbecue, I think. In Texas.
I love that stuff. I love all food, though.
Oh, you know what they got in Texas is out in the Panhandle part of it. There's a place there. I forget the name of the town where they got the big old like burger or not a burger. It's a steak. It's like I forget what it is. It's humongous, right? It looks like it.
Yeah, 78 ounce or something stupid.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And I was like, what? Oh, hell no. I'm not even going to try this thing. I can see myself dying trying to eat the damn steak. You know what I mean? And so I was like, no, but it's kind of cool to be there and then knowing that they've been on Food Channel and all that sort of thing. It's really cool.
Now I got to look up this restaurant's name because I ordered a massive steak and I forget how big it was. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think it was 72 ounce.
That's humongous. Man, there's
yeah,
no way I can eat that.
I ate it.
You ate the whole thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of beef, man. 72 ounces.
It really was. I wasn't feeling well afterwards. Hit the potatoes too, some broccoli. I couldn't finish everything.
Hey, Kip, who's Ang? Is Ang Angel? Is that short for angel or something? What is that? That is hilarious. You have a new channel, Ang. Banned. I guess he was banned. No, that sucks. 9.
Where the hell? All right, let's see.
All right, DK. I'm going to call this a day. So I'm going to play us out with a song. But it was fun, man. I mean, I always appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man. You're my friend. I appreciate you, brother.
Had a great time, as usual.
Oh, good. Okay. You know how to reach me. I mean, you can call or something later. But I'm going to end the stream right now. So everybody is in here. Just Kip, Angel, Pat, and everybody who was in here earlier, Jason.
Yeah.
God bless you all in Jesus' name. Truth Freeze.
Night all.
Night, everybody. God bless you all in Jesus' name, and we'll see you next time. Okay, and
Night.
then so here we go. It's going to play us out with a little old song. All right, it's going to be here. It's, okay, here we go.
Whatever may happen from here in what you do, just wanted to let you know that my heart is ever true. So wherever you may roam on the path where we must part, I'll always stand by you in the fire within my heart. In my heart you'll stay forever and a day. So wherever you go, you'll never be alone, 'cause I'll always be with you in all memories that we've known. No matter how far away, you'll always be in my prayers. I just want you to be happy and for you to know that I care. In my heart you'll stay forever and a day. I'm sorry I hurt you. I can feel the rain pouring down, but it won't wash away the pain that I feel when you're not around. across the deepest valley if you ever need me, honey, yeah. So please remember when things go wrong, yeah. I'll always be with you, baby, whenever you hear this song. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whatever may happen from here and what you do, baby, just wanted to let you know that my heart is ever true. Oh, oh. So wherever you may roam from the path where we must part, I'll always stand by you in the fire within my heart forever and a day.
That's all, folks.